Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great, and in today's video we are going to discuss paper 2 from Progression Test 2025. The first question over here says to you that Angelique is n years old. Yuri says to find my age, add 2 to Angelique's age, which is n plus 2, then square. Write down an expression in terms of n for Yuri's age is this one. N plus 2 all squared. It takes 4 people 6 weeks to paint a bridge. So this is the number of people. This is the number of weeks. 4 people take 6 weeks to paint a bridge. Find the number of weeks it would take 2 people to paint the same bridge. You should notice that the relation or the connection that is between the number of people and the number of weeks to finish a task is actually done through an inverse proportion. So if the number of people increases, definitely the time will decrease. And the other way around, if the number of people decreases, which you got here divided by 2, the other one, the time increases, multiplied by 2. So they're going to take 12 weeks. They need you here to find the value of x, which is actually an exterior angle. And you should know that the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon is 360 degrees. So you should write over here on your calculator 360, subtract from it the 30 plus 60 plus 70 plus 55 plus 95 equals 50 degrees. So now if you add the 50 and the 95, the 55, the 70, the 60, and the 30, they're going to give you exactly 360 degrees. Because the sum of all the exterior, and you must make sure that all of them are exterior angles, the numbers that are given to you, all of them are exterior angles. So the sum of all of them is 360. Yusuf has this question for homework, factorize fully. And he did this. Explain why Yusuf's answer is not correct, because he did not take x as a factor. X should have also been factorized, so he hasn't taken x as a factor. And you can also write the correct answer saying that it is 5x, x minus 3. This is the correct answer. Here they're telling you that in 2022, this was the price of 1 liter, and the price increased by 20% in 2023. Then it decreased by 10% in 2024. Calculate the cost of 1 liter of fuel at the end of 2024, which is at the end over here, after the last decrease percentage. So you're going to find that it is 1.50. This is the price in 2022, but it got increased, so it is 1.2. This is the multiplier. The multiplier, you find it by adding this number to 100%, which is going to give you 120%. You divide by 100 gives you 1.2. Then multiply by subtracting the 10% from 100 because it's decrease, so it is exactly going to be 90%. But dividing it by 100 is going to give you exactly 0.9. Doing this on your calculator is going to give you exactly 1.62. This is the price of 1 liter at the end of 2024, $1.62. They need you to here to find the value of x and y. Well, you should know that these two lines, they told you already that they are parallel using these arrows over here. And they told you that AC is equal to AB, this one over here. So this we've got here an isosceles triangle. So here, finding this is 32, you can also notice that this is also 32. How? Because they are alternate interior angles. This one and this one, they are alternate interior. And you can now find x subtracting 180 and 32 will give you exactly 148 degrees, which is x. Someone also could have thought about x as the co-interior to 32. So 180 minus 32 also is going to give you 148. But anyway, we must find that this one is equal to 32 because I know that this is an isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, you should know that the different side has the two equal angles. So if this is also, let's give it another letter. Let's say this is M, for example, then this is M. If this is 50, then this is also 50. So we know that these two angles are equal because they are lying on the different side. Okay, so now this is 32, so 180 minus 32, we knew that it is 148 degrees. It's the same like this one. But I have two equal angles, so 148 divided by 2 will give you exactly 74 degrees. So this is 74 degrees, this is 74 degrees, right? This is alternate interior with this one. So you're going to find that they are equal, so it is also 74 degrees. Now we found that x was 148 and y is 74. Here are some equations of straight lines. So they wanted the gradient if it's positive. To find the gradient, first you must make sure that y is the subject. And yes, in the three of them, y is actually the subject. So here, the coefficient of x is the gradient. So the gradient over here is positive, yes, and it's written. And they are telling you here that the y-intercept is also positive, done. While the other one over here, the gradient is negative, and the y-intercept is positive. So gradient is negative, y-intercept is positive, so y equals 5 minus 3x. The last one over here, they're telling you that the gradient is negative and the y-intercept is also negative. So gradient is negative, y-intercept is negative, gets written here. They want you to enlarge this shape. Draw the image of triangle ABC after an enlargement scale factor of 2. Center of enlargement 3, 3. So you move from the center of enlargement to the nearest vertex, which is here, this one. You find that it is one left, one down. Then you move it actually what? Instead of one left, one down, you move it two left, two down. So angle A becomes here. This is the image of A. Now you need to start drawing the shape, but doubling the length of each side. So doubling the length of each side, let me first here get the straight lines. You're going to find that this one over here, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it is going to be 8. So you extend it until you reach here 9, because it was already on 1, so I'm going to go up until 9. Now I made the length of the side doubled. Then here, instead of 3, I'm going to make a 6. So from 1, I'm going to move until 7. And you just connect the two vertices for the diagonal line. Now I made the enlargement. Let's continue. After I erase this, complete the graph of y equals x squared plus 5. Here, squaring the 2 is going to give you a 4 plus 5 is going to give you a 9. And squaring the 3 is going to give you a 9 plus 5 is going to give you 14. Let's complete the graph. So 2 is until 9, which is over here. And then the 3 is until 14. Then you connect without a ruler because it's quadratic. And what we're drawing here is not a straight line. It is a parabola. That's it. The number of people in a stadium is 24,300 corrected to the nearest 100. Find the smallest possible number of people in the stadium. Here they're requesting from you to find the lower bound. So to find the lower bound, you need to divide this by 2. It gives you the 50. For the upper bound, you add the 50. For the lower bound, which is what they want because they requested the smallest, you minus 50. So it becomes a 24,250. The children in a class measure the length in centimeters of their feet. The table gives the information about their results. Calculate an estimate of the mean. We agree before that estimate of the mean from grouped data equals total of midpoint times frequency and over total of frequency. The total of the midpoint times frequency, which is the three of them together, you add them up. Then let's do it. 36 plus 336 plus 120 equals 492. But we're going to need to divide this by the total of frequency, which is going to give you exactly 30. Then you divide this by 30, it gives you exactly 16.4. So the answer is 16.4. The table shows the heights in centimeters of a sample of 30 chinstrap penguins and a sample of 30 Humboldt penguins. I'm not actually sure if I'm pronouncing their names right or wrong, but anyway. So here they're requesting from you to complete the frequency polygon for the Humboldt penguins on the grid. So we know that this is the Humboldt, which is the straight line, not the dotted line. So we need to continue this. They stopped here until 65:15. So they stopped until here. This is done, done, done. We need to continue. We take the midpoint for the frequency polygon. So it is 67, and here is 69, and here is 71, and here is 73. So it's 67, 7, 67, which is from here, and you go up until you reach the 7, which is here. Then you got, after that, 69.5. So from 69, you go up until 5. Then 71, 71, which is, I'm sorry, just a second. I made a mistake actually in the 66 into the 69. Here it is from 67 until 7. 67 is actually here. So 67 is here until 7. And the 69 until 5. So here is 69 is here until you reach 5, which is this one. And then 71 until 1. So 71 until 1, which is here. And the 73 until 0, which is also this one. Now you connect the line graph with the ruler and the pencil this way. That's it. Now I completed the graph. I'm going to erase it. And I will go to the next question, which says to you that chinstrap penguins are taller on average than the Humboldt penguins. Well, I'm going to need the graph again to do this. They're telling you that chinstrap is taller. Look at this here. You're going to find that the taller means, don't look at this. Most of the students, they just, once they look at this top, they say, no, 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 the Humboldt is actually taller. But look at that. The chin strap is actually taller because it's not about the frequency. It is about the height. So the height here is higher. Look at that. Most of the Humboldt penguins, they are actually, they reach the height of 65 centimeters only. But if you look at the 70, look at that. From 70 to 72 centimeters, we've got 9 chin strap and only 1 from the Humboldt. So the chin strap, yes, they are taller actually. And look even at this one over here, from 68 to 70 centimeters, the chin strap is also taller. We've got 10 of them from 68 to 70, while only 5 from the Humboldt. All right? So you're going to find, and even also here, the 66 and the 68 here is 8. So you're going to find that the tall or the high measurements, the big numbers in the height are, you're going to find that there are more from the chin strap than the Humboldt. So the chin strap, yes, is taller. I'm going to raise this now. I might need it later. All right, so the chin strap penguins are taller, yes. The shortest of these penguin is a chin strap penguin. Let's get back to this. The shortest is 60 until 62. 0, 0. We don't have any. All right, so from 62 to 64, I've got 1 from the chin strap from 62 to 64, and I got 2 from 62 to 64 in the Humboldt. But do you know which one of them is the shortest? Well, maybe this one chin strap penguin is 63, maybe 62. The 2 Humboldt penguins could also be 62 or 63. So which one of them is the smallest or the shortest? We have no idea. We don't have enough information. None of the penguins have a height greater than 72. Look at that. Greater than 72, none. So yes, none of them is true. All right. So that's it. Let's continue. Solve this. To solve this, you need to send this to the other side, multiplication, because it's division. You cannot solve an equation as long as x is in the denominator. There are 2 ways. You can take x minus 1 to the other side, multiplication, or you can just switch the numerator of the other side with the denominator of this side. So you can say 10 over 5 equals x minus 1. So x minus 1 equals 2. You send the negative 1 to the other side, so x equals 3. Here is an inequality. Given that x is an integer, write down the smallest possible value of x. All right, so they're telling you over here that square root of x is between the square root of 16 and the square root of 36. So what is the smallest possible value given that x is an integer? It is a whole number. It's a whole number. So it is 70 because it's between 16 and 36. It could be any number, yeah, but they told you, right, the smallest possible number value. So the smallest possible value here for x is 17, the number that comes right after 16. Expanding this, first by first is x squared, then negative 4x, then positive 2x, then negative 8. Simplifying and collecting like terms, you get over here x squared minus 2x minus 8. A sequence has the term-to-term rule, subtract 3, then square. The first 3 terms of the sequence are 5, 4, 1. Write the fourth and the fifth. So 5, 4, 1, they told you that the term-to-term rule is subtract 3, so minusing 3 from this will give you negative 2. Then square. Squaring it gives you a 4. Then again, subtracting 3 gives you a 1. Then squaring it gives you also another 1. Here are the first 4 terms of a different sequence. Here you go. Complete the term-to-term rule for this sequence. The term-to-term rule is square then. So let's try this on the 2. If you square it, it gives you a 4. 2 squared is 4. Then we multiplied it by 2. It gives us 8. But let's try it with the second term. If you square it, it gives you 64. Done. Then you multiply it by 2, and it gives you 128. I don't need to square the 128 and then I multiply by 2 to see if it will give me 32,768 or not. I don't need to do that. All what I need to do is just right here, then multiply by 2. They're telling you that the total surface area of this triangular prism is 57 centimeters squared, and that they're requesting from you to find the value of x. So let's do this. Finding the surface area, we know that surface area, let's say, all right, I'm going to write it at the end, equals 57. This is that surface area that they have given us. But to reach the 57, we need to do what? I need to write over here the area of the triangle and doubling it for the two triangles. So I'm going to write over here 1.5 multiplied by 2 base times height over 2. Then you multiply all by 2. So it's just canceling the divide by 2. You don't need it. So the area of the two triangles is base by height over 2 times 2. So I didn't need actually from the beginning to divide by 2. So it's just 1.5 times 2 is going to be the area of the two triangles. Then plus area of the rectangle at the bottom, which is base times height or length times width, which is 2 times x is 2x. Now I finished the two triangles and the rectangle at the bottom. After finishing the rectangle at the bottom, we've got a rectangle that is on the right side. You see this? Whether it's a rectangle or a parallelogram, whatever, it is x times 2.5, which is plus 2.5x. And this way I finished the right side rectangle, the rectangle that is on the right side. And here we have the last rectangle, which is over here at the left side. This rectangle at the left side, we've got this also x, and the height of it or the length of it is exactly 1.5. So it is x times 1.5. All of this should give you what? So now I got the area of the two triangles, one rectangle, one rectangle, one rectangle. So now I got the 5 faces. They're telling you that if you add all of them up, that they should give you 57. Now let's simplify. 1.5 times 2 is going to give you 3. Here, 2 plus 2.5 is 4.5, plus 1.5 is going to give you 6. So plus 6x equals 57. Solve the equation. So 6x equals minus 3 from there gives you 54. So x is just 9. The fraction 5 over 7 is equivalent to this recurring decimal. Find the 599th digit after the decimal point in this recurring decimal. Definitely you're not requested to keep counting, but you should find, or you should notice that every, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. We got a 6-digit pattern over here. These 6 digits keep repeating. So it is 0.714285, 714,285, then again 714,285. How many digits are they? You're going to find that they are 6 digits. They keep repeating. So you should know that the 600th digit is going to be the 5. How do I know this? 6 digits, the last digit is 5. Count on 6s. So you're going to find that the 12th ends with a 5. The 18th ends with a 5. The 60th ends with a 5. The 600th ends with a 5. So any number that is a multiple of 6, you're going to find that it ends with a 5. So the 600th digit is 5. But we want the 599th. What's the digit that is before it? It is just an 8. So the 599th digit is just 8. A circle has an area of 48.34 centimeters squared. To calculate the radius, we know that area equals pi r squared. So I have the area, which is 48.34, and I have pi, which is what I'm going to send to the other side division. It's multiplied by radius squared, and it's the last thing that happened to the radius. The radius got squared, then got multiplied by pi. So I'm going to send the pi to the other side division. Equals r squared. Yes, but we want only r. We don't want r squared. So r equals square root of 48.34 over pi. I sent just the square to the other side. Okay, so I've done this. I need to rewrite it. But I need to do this on my calculator. To do it, you must start with the square root, then you start with the fraction, then the numerator is 48.34, and the denominator is just pi equals 3 point, they told you three significant figures, so 3.92. The digit that is after the 2 is weak, so it remains 2. So 3.92 is the answer. 3 children share some sweets in the ratio 3 to 5 to 9. One child gets 12 more sweets than one of the other children. Well, you should, once you see something like this, and they do not tell you anything about any of the other children, like how many they actually have, you must turn them into x's. Like this is 3 multiplied by a number, and 5 multiplied by a number, and 9 multiplied by a number to find the actual number of sweets that they have. So what is the number that they are multiplied by? It is unknown so far. So I'm going to represent it with x. So once you find that you're not given more information, you just should turn this into 3x, 5x, 9x. They told you that one child gets 12 more. So who gets 12 more? Definitely not this one, because this is the smallest. This is the smallest. So definitely this one doesn't get 12 more. It's either 5x is 12 more than 3x. This is the first option. 5x is 12 more than 3x. Oh, look at that. 5x minus 3x is 12. This is the first option. The second option could be that 9x is 12 more than 3x. And the third option could be that 9x is 12 more than 5x. Now we just need to solve the equations to find the x's. So x could be what? Here you're going to find that 2x equals 12. So x could be 6. And the other one over here is 6x equals 12. So x could be 2. And the other one over here is 4x equals 12. So x could be 3. Never go and write 6, 2, 3 because they're not requesting from you the possible values of x's. No, they said find the 3 possible totals. So I've got the first total could be 6 times 3, which is 18. So the first total is 18 plus, now in case x is 6, 18 plus 30, 5 times 6 is 30, plus 9 times 6 is 20, 9 times 6 is 54. So this will give you the first total. Just add them up. 18 plus 30 plus 54. 102 is the first total. The second total that is possible is that when x is 2, so 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10, 9 times 2 is 18. So the other total could be, here you got 34. Yes, 34. All right. And the last total here could be when x is 3, it is 9, plus 5 times 3 is 15, plus 9 times 3 is 27. You're going to find that it is 51, I guess. 9 and 15 is 24. 24 and 27 is going to give you exactly 51. Point A has coordinates 3, 4. Point B has coordinates 5, 5. Point C has coordinates 9y. A, B, and C lie on a straight line. If they lie on a straight line, then you can find the equal jumps because they are straight on a straight line. So let's imagine that this one over here, look at that, is the straight line. And I have over here, this is A. Let's write at the top. I have more space at the bottom. A is 3, 4. Then they told you that B is 5, 5. This is what they said. B is 5, 5. Then they told you that C is 9y. I don't know actually what see what there is something that is in between here, because if you noticed this, I added here a 2 to the x, then here I added a 1. So there is something in between, whatever you call it, that if you add also to this 2, to the x2, look at this, if you add to the x also 2, is going to become 7. And if you add to the y 1, like what happened over here, every time we add to the x2 and we add to the y1. So adding it to the x2, it became 5. Adding it to the 1, it became 5. Adding it to the x2, it becomes 7. Adding it to the y1, it becomes 6. Then now adding it to the x2, it becomes 9. Adding it to the y1, it becomes 7. So this y is just 7. 12 children in class Y estimate how long 1 minute lasts for. They each shut their eyes and put their hand in the air when they think 1 minute has passed. The stem and leaf diagram shows the times in seconds for 11 of the children. So actually, if you notice that they told you that they're not 11, they are 12, or they're still going to tell you here. So for all 12 children in class Y, they are 12. The median time is 64.5 seconds. 64.5, which is this one here. It's a number that is here. This is the median. So the median is here, right? This is the median. The range of the times is 33 seconds. Complete the stem and leaf diagram with the missing time. So there is time that is missing. And they told you that the median is here. We know that the numbers that are the numbers before the median must be the same as the numbers after the median. So here I have, what I mean over here is that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. While here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Median is the number that is in the middle. So if there are 6 numbers after the median, there must be 6 numbers before the median. So the range will help me find the smallest number. So the smallest number is what's missing, not the largest. Okay. How did I find this? Because they told me that the median is here. I have 6 numbers after the median, then I need 6 numbers before the median. They've given you the range is 33. Well, the range is not 33 over here because 76 is the largest number minus 56 is the smallest number. That's 20, not 33. So you need to go 13 down more. You're going to find that it is 43. The smallest number that is missing, which is the 12th number, the missing time, it is actually 43. Now the median is 64.5. Yes, it is the number that is in the middle exactly. 6 numbers are smaller than it. 6 numbers are larger than it. And the range largest minus smallest is going to give you 33 exactly. So I got the missing number. Complete the stem and leaf diagram, done. 12 children in class Z are also asked to estimate how long 1 minute lasts for. For the 12 children in class Z, the median time is 61.5 seconds. So the range of the times is 46 seconds. Eva says the children in class Z are better at estimating how long 1 minute lasts for than the children in class Y. Well, they told you here that the median is 61.5. This is in class Z. Class Y, they told you that the median is what? 64.5. And the range is 33. So Eva may be correct that yes, the class Z is better because you're going to find because the median of their times is closer to the actual answer, which is 60 seconds, is closer to 60 seconds. So Eva may be correct because the median of class Z, which she claims that it is better or that they are better. So the median of class Z is closer to 60 seconds than in class Y. Eva may not be correct because the range of class Z is, or the range in class Y is smaller, which means their answers varied less because the answers or the times of students in class Y varied less because we know that the range tells us about the variation and about the consistency. So in class Y, it varied less, which shows that they could have better estimates than class Z. Question 15 here. The diagram shows a shape formed by an isosceles triangle ABC joined to a semicircle with diameter AB. Find the parameter of the shape. The parameter is the length of all the sides or the outline of the whole shape. So I know that parameter is 13, the outline, plus 13, the other part of the outline of the shape, plus, I don't know the parameter of this semicircle. So I need to find the parameter of the semicircle. So parameter of semicircle equals pi d over 2. I don't need to add d to it because the diameter that is inside over here is not part of the parameter of the whole shape. All right, what is d? Do you know it? No, we do not know what d is. All right, to find this, I have a right-angled triangle, right? And I know that this is equal because this is an isosceles triangle, so this is bisecting the side that is at the bottom over here, the base. So if you find this one, it is equal to this one, right? Because it's the radius. So let's find the radius together. How? This is a right-angled triangle, but just like this one. So this is the hypotenuse, and I'm missing one of the two legs. So a squared equals c squared minus b squared. A squared is missing equals 13 squared, which is 169, minus, you have the calculator, you can do that, 12 squared, which is 144. You're going to find that a squared equals 25. So a equals 5. So you're going to find that this is a 5. Well, this is a 5, so the diameter is 10, right? Now we can find the parameter of the semicircle, knowing that the diameter is 10. So parameter of semicircle equals pi multiplied by the diameter, which is 10, over 2, which is 5 pi. Dividing the 10 by 2 is 5, so 5 pi equals 15.7. So 15.7 centimeters. Now adding this to the two sides, because what's requested is not finding the parameter of the semicircle. No, what is requested is that you find the parameter of the whole shape. So we said 13 plus 13 plus the parameter of the semicircle, which is 15.7, is going to add to 41.7. This is the final answer. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you in another video.